first focus, I suppose, for you would be with data creation.
Mhm.
What are the different stages involved in creating high quality, actionable data in a telco environment?
Yeah. So if you really look at, as a user, so right now, all of us are on this Zoom call. If you look at it, really, how is data flowing through, and we're all in different parts of the world, data is going from literally our desktops. We are clients over here, and the backend, it goes all the way to a Zoom server and then get spread out again to the various participants. That's how it happens, whether you're doing a Zoom call or you're doing Netflix, right? It goes from a client or a subscriber to a server and back. Now, for a telecom operator, uh, where they sit in the middle, they're seeing all this data go through their networks at massive rates. That's what data is in a telecom network, right? That's packets, that's actual, the raw packets. Now, if you take that, what are the stages in it? Well, so at step one, as a packet is flowing through the network, how do you know if that packet carries Zoom data or from Netflix or from whatever else you might be doing, right? So classifying that data or recognizing what application it's coming from, that's the first step of the journey. The second step is then, as we are, you know, there's a variety of things that we're doing on the Zoom call, right? We're sharing video, we're talking, so there is voice going on. One of us might decide to share our screens and share a presentation, so there's screen sharing. Now, within a given application, there are so many different things that are happening at the same time. When you're watching a movie, well, you could open up a app like Netflix, you could be streaming a movie, you could be downloading a movie, you could be browsing content. Now, the second part of this journey is to really take what's happening within the application and categorizing it into what content is it, right? So, because an application as used by a subscriber is one thing, but under the hood could be a variety of different things with it, which is content, right? And what is that type of content? Um, then when we take it a step further, it's sort of taking that and saying, well, what context is this data happening in, right? So there is associating data to a subscriber. What part of the network is it coming from? Um, you know, um, what access technology it's coming from, because, well, you may be on a 5G network, you may be on a 4G network, you may be on a fixed line network, right? So a lot of those aspects, which is what we call context awareness, or enriching that data with more context. And it's not just pure bits and bytes application context. Now we have context associated to it. And then finally, when you have this context and you match it with what Alexander spoke about, which is truly our, what really kind of seals the deal on this uniqueness of it, is when we can take that and articulate that into what's the quality of experience being delivered by that data to each of us as subscribers, right? So we're consuming this. Is the quality of the Zoom call good or not good? Well, we know that because we are at this other end experiencing it. But if we were the telco provider, how does the telco know that they're delivering good quality of experience or not? They don't. But that's, as part of our data creation journey, we are able to do that. So those are the multiple stages, right? And that's how you take data from its raw to high quality data at the end of it.
Fantastic, thank you. And um, in terms of data enrichment, what is contextual awareness and how does it enrich the data?
Right. So now let's take a simple example, right? If we were all, let's say, in one country, right? Or if this was one network across the globe. If, for example, you were experiencing poor quality of experience, but the rest of us weren't, and if I was the service provider and I said, hey, I want to figure out why is Josephine not getting good quality of experience, I would need to know, first of all, that this piece of data as it flew through the network came from Josephine as a subscriber, right? So I need to do that. Then I need to know what part of the network are you in, because, well, if you're a cellular customer, if you're on a wireless network, you could be anywhere. And if I don't know where you are, then I can't figure out what's going on. and how do I help you? So location. Then I need to know what kind of plan are you on, right? Are you subscribed to a plan that gives you 10 megabits per second or 2 megabits per second? Because quite frankly, your quality of experience could be poor because you're trying to do something which is very data intensive, but you're not subscribed to an appropriate plan. So what plan are you on? Now, this is all contextual. What device are you using? Are you using a small screen phone or are you using a large television, right? Two very different things. Device. A lot of this information as you take, it's the same packet of data, it's the same flow, but all this is context associated to it, and that enriches it. Now, that same piece of data has meaning to it that can be used.
Fantastic, thank you. And I suppose, transitioning nicely onto data utilization. Next step, why do operators need this data, and what can they use it for?
A variety of things. I actually covered one of the main use cases for that, right? Like I said, maybe, one of us is facing a problem on a Zoom call and a service provider needs to be able to understand and isolate that, right? So how do I troubleshoot problems? If I don't have good quality data, then I can't troubleshoot it because data is all flowing through the network. But a particular user, a particular group of users needs, is facing a poor quality of experience. How do I go and troubleshoot, right? So that's one use case. Second is even just to run my network efficiently as a telecom operator, I need good quality data to know, hey, what should I do? Is one part of my network congested? Should I do something about it? Is it congested because the volume of traffic is high? Or is it showing poor quality of experience because I've got a problem with one of the links in my network? So it's an infrastructure problem. So operations. If you take that on, well, if it's not an operational issue and it's a capacity problem, then what should I do? How should I go plan my network and put the right capacity into it where it's needed? Because just by adding capacity, I might actually not solve the problem. Not all problems are solvable by adding more capacity. There could be various other things. And if I have the ability to know what is the quality of experience, I can plan my network to deliver better quality of experience and not just throughput. So that, and then depending on, let's say, there are different roles and personas within a service provider. Let's say I'm an executive, right? I need to take decisions on my network. My operations team may need to look at it at much granular levels, but how do I get a network-wide view? What's happening across the network? Well, I need data again, and I need data now segmented by various different aspects. Access technology, if I have, if I'm running a network, and let's say I'm Vodafone, I've got a network in the UK, I've got it in India, I've got it in other parts. Which part of the network is doing well and not well? So, once again, another aspect of why I need data.
Fantastic, thank you. Yeah, great answers. Cheers. And final question for you. What would you kind of predict for the future of data gathering, data deployment in this kind of sphere? Where do you see that heading?
I think the answer is in your question, predict. With data and good quality data, I think the future will enable us to predict what's going to happen with that data. And if you take it an even step further, not only predict, but automatically take action based on those predictions, right? So it's one thing to know history, based on that history to decide what must be done now. But if you can look at data over a period of time and kind of foretell what's going to happen in the future, then that's power. And that's the ability to take action before it becomes needed. It's proactive, right? And then to be able to take that action without human intervention, that's automation. So in my opinion, the future of data enables proactive automation and driving networks to where you want them to be rather than reacting to where they are currently.